Hey, Key, so give me some end time news.
It's 1:25. It's getting close to the end.
We need to go to lunch.
That's right. Lunchtime is coming. We should be watching for prophecy. We should be watching what's going on in the Middle East. People say, well, why should you care about the Middle East? Well, God tells us in His Word that's where His focus is. The battle spiritually in this world has always been centered in Jerusalem. That's where God built His temples. That's where His people lived for many hundreds of years. And He says at the end, before Jesus comes back, Jerusalem will come back into focus. It will be a cup of trembling, and the whole world will be focused on that little rock in the eastern quadrant of the Mediterranean. And so we need to be watching what's going on. We need to pay attention to the covenants. We need to pay attention to the agreements. You should be paying attention to the Prime Minister, Naftali Bennett, who is the really weak leader of Israel right now, has been meeting with Putin, and he has been given permission to keep bombing Syria. Russia controls what happens in Syria. And as long as Israel has permission from Russia, they're going to keep doing it. And I believe Turkey is making preparations to go into Syria to try to stop that process. And that's when the Bible says there's, going to be a conflict. If you want to know more about that, go read Ezekiel 38. It's called the Battle of Gog of Magog, where the northern countries, Syria, Iran, Turkey, they come against Israel and they try to shut down Israel because they can't stand that Israel exists. Satan is obsessed with Israel. They have Israeli derangement syndrome. And it's the same thing that causes people to hate Netanyahu, the former prime minister. It's the same reason they hate Trump. It's the same reason they hate Christians who use the name of Christ. They don't like that. And it's Satan that's causing that division and that angst in the world. But Naftali and Putin met this last week, and they put together a brief agreement that says Israel can keep destroying Iranian outposts in Syria. Iran is in Syria, and they're attacking Israel from that northern country that's close. The Bible tells us Damascus gets taken care of, and it's coming. Israel, as part of their last defense budget, bought the bunker buster bombs that they have been prevented from buying. They have a 30,000 pound bomb that will go through 20 feet of concrete before it blows up. They drop it from the sky and it makes a huge hole, and then it blows up underground, and it's called a bunker buster. And the United States used one of those to get bin Laden. They actually dropped it on some rocky hills, and that bomb has the capacity to just drill down and then blow up when it's underground. And Israel now has that, and I believe that's going to be used in Damascus. Damascus has huge stockpiles of bombs, tanks, trucks. Iran has stored their stuff underground in Damascus. They want to invade Israel. They're going to try to invade Israel, and I believe God destroys the Iranian military under Damascus before they get a chance to use it. And the Bible tells us Damascus is destroyed in one night. You're going to go to bed, nothing's going to happen. You're going to wake up the next day and you're going to see on the news that Damascus is completely destroyed. And I believe it's going to be that type of situation where Israel will drop some of those bunker busters, and all of that munition and all those bombs that are stored underground in Damascus are going to go off, and there will be no more Damascus when that event is over. And the Bible says it happens in one night. It doesn't take weeks, doesn't take a month. It all happens in one night, and then Damascus is no more.